Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We got a lot of good stuff coming your way. Really appreciate you coming on to today's show. And on today's show, this is what we got. We're tracking Hurricane Florence. Where is it right now? We're going to give you a little bit of the latest updates today. I don't know, I just sound like a goat there. But anyway, Trump is calling the government response to Hurricane Maria an unsung success. In questions yesterday, this is going to trigger me. I'm just giving you a warning there. Donald Trump is remembering 9/11. He's very pumped about it. Take a look at his cringy moments today. The DHS transferred $10 million from FEMA to ICE for detention centers. Oops. Amy Schumer will not vote for Cynthia Nixon, and the stupidest, possibly the stupidest cartoon ever made. Alright, so first, we're going to start a little bit by, we're going to be talking about some of the, some of what you need to know as Hurricane Florence barrels down on the Carolinas, also maybe a little bit of Georgia. So yeah, that'll be interesting. As it is right now, it's a good deal off the Carolinas. So as we know, Hurricane Florence is continuing on a path toward North and South Carolina, where it is expected to make landfall. That is Thursday night. The National Hurricane Center said on Tuesday that the Category 4 storm would probably gain strength later in the day, possibly to become a Category 5 system just before it makes landfall. It could get into that orange zone there. So right now it's about a Category 4. It's been that way for quite a while, all the way since I was pretty much out in the Atlantic Ocean. It's right now, if you look at Bermuda and you make a diagonal line to the left, it's in that area right now. So yeah, it's barreling around up to South Carolina. I have no idea how many miles away it is because there's no indication on this map that I'm looking at here, but still, it's coming Thursday night, as we know. This is what the latest is. So yeah, as of Tuesday morning, the storm was expected to bring 10 or more inches of rainfall in parts of North Carolina and Virginia over the next 5 days. A storm surge of up to 16 feet was predicted in North Carolina as of Tuesday afternoon. So places, for example, just to give you the idea, like the places that are really going to get hit are areas like Washington, D.C. is going to get a little bit, hope to drown all those. Then maybe that can really drain the swamp or just wash it out. It's only going to get 2 inches of storm surge, though. There's an area, I have no idea where that is. It's just off because I really don't know North Carolina here, but I'll see if I can get out the big map and track it for you a little bit. But there is a part of North Carolina, just looks like it's right around, it's the part of land from the Croton Sound on and the Albemarle Sound by Ingalls, areas like Mans Harbor, Columbia, Stumpy Point is a place, Longshore River, that area, as well as all the way up to like Belhaven, Scranton, Fairfield, Cresswell, Columbia. Like that's going to get areas of 15 plus inches of storm surge. So if you're in that area, you want to get out of there. Richmond's going to get probably 10 inches. Places like Raleigh is going to get 5 inches, and Washington, D.C. is going to be in that 2-inch band of storm. Yes, that's what we need to know. A storm surge of possibly up to 16 feet was predicted in North Carolina. So it's going to be a lot to deal with. So yeah, that's all we have for you right now. Hope everyone stays safe and really gets out there. Let's see. Now we get to the top story of the day, as Hurricane Florence, potentially once in a lifetime monster storm, bears down on the eastern seaboard. President Donald Trump would like the American public to know that everything is going completely fine, as I'm sure he wants us to think here, right? So that everyone's doing just a great job. Just look at what a bang up job his administration did following Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. I should laugh, but it's really bad. So here's what he says here. Speaking of the Oval Office about the storm, Trump couldn't help but brag about his response to Hurricane Maria, Splendor reports, which last month was officially recognized as one of the most catastrophic natural disasters in U.S. history. Puerto Rico's revised death count nearing 3,000 people, coincidentally the same number of people that died on 9/11. Nevertheless, despite the thousands dead, a list of administrative snafus, neglect, downright malfeasance that even FEMA couldn't deny, Trump insisted that he handled the storm. And the way he handled the storm was incredible, unsung success. Here he is.
Puerto Rico was incredibly successful. Puerto Rico was actually our toughest one of all because it's an island, so you can't truck things onto it, everything's by boat. We moved a hospital into Puerto Rico, a tremendous military hospital in the form of a ship, you know that. And I actually think, and the governor's been very nice, and if you ask the governor, he'll tell you what a great job. I think probably the hardest one we had by far was Puerto Rico because of the island nature. And I actually think it was one of the best jobs that's ever been done with respect to what this is all about. Puerto Rico got hit not with one hurricane, but with two. And the problem with Puerto Rico is their electric grid and their electric generating plant was dead before the storms ever hit. It was in very bad shape. It was in bankruptcy, had no money. It was largely closed. And when the storm hit, they had no electricity essentially before the storm, and when the storm hit, that took it out entirely. The job that FEMA and law enforcement and everybody did, working along with the governor in Puerto Rico, I think was tremendous. I think that Puerto Rico was an incredible, unsung success.
Okay, whatever you say. I mean, like, 3,000 people died. That's not an unsung success. Like, I don't care how many, like, you moved a hospital in. What good did that do? Like, 3,000 people died. Like, you obviously couldn't get that hospital to help anyone, nor get the other hospitals back on. And, like, here's the thing about Puerto Rico. Like, you're the president. You shouldn't have let Puerto Rico like this. Like, you should have actually investigated it. Yeah. And Puerto Rico in that speech, I don't know if you heard, Trump also explained his and displayed his ironclad grasp of geography with the incredible quote, Puerto Rico was actually our toughest one of all because it's an island. What? It's an island. I don't know, I just played that air horn, sorry. Yeah. This is far from the first time Trump has stewed his own disease horn over Puerto Rico's response. Of course, he's privileged to brag for the fantastic job he's received and the tremendous reviews for his work. The current death toll from Hurricane Maria currently stands about 2,975 people. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Let's see. That is a very disturbing situation that our president thinks like that. Like, whenever 2,975 people die from a storm where, like, 10 people, like, died in the beginning, and you handled it so bad that an additional 2,965 die afterwards, that's an awful failure. It's an awful failure. Yeah. And you as the head of the government should take full responsibility for that. Instead, yeah, did a great job. Yeah, Donald Trump is very excited, or he was very excited yesterday, for his favorite day of the year. He loves telling, and then, by the way, that was 9/11, never forget, obviously, to 9/11, seriously there. He loves telling Islamophobic lies about the day of the attacks. He loves pretending he was a first responder. He loves stealing the spotlight to lay claim on now owning the tallest building in the city. He said that after the day, like on the day of the city. Like there's a lot of Trump's greatest hits about 9/11 here. We'll get to some of them, and they're all awful. They're not hits. They're actually, making one like jump off cliffs. But here's the thing. He also loves, actually, as well as referring to the tragedy as 7/11, which is very interesting. He mixed up 9/11 with 7/11 on the campaign trail. Yeah. So, the ubiquitous convenience store and the terror attacks, who knew? But here's one of the things he also said, and this is no joke. He now, on the day of 9/11, he called into the Howard Stern show.
One of the landmark buildings down in the financial district, 40 Wall Street.
Yeah, so he's no, whatever this is. He was on the news and of some kind. So he calls into the news on September 11th, 2016. And sorry, this is September 11th, 2001, and this is him talking about his. This is him talking about the new New York City landscape and reacting to the attack.
Did you have any damage, or did you know what's happened down there?
Well, it was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest.
Yep, now it's the tallest. Hey, look at that. Yeah, he also loves pretending he was a first responder. He loves saying, I helped a little bit clearing rubble at Ground Zero. Congratulations. And he also loves telling Islamophobic guys, like, he's all people partying on top of a bridge in New Jersey, or whatever it was, rooftop parties. Like, no, it is not the incredible stuff here from Donald Trump, as always. Like 9/11, it's a day of incredible stuff from Donald Trump, as always. So yeah, and things already got excited when Doug Mills, New York Times photographer, photographed First Lady Melania Trump and Donald Trump greeting supporters that has arrived in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, to attend Flight 93, September 11th Memorial Service in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And Trump was like this. He was like, yeah, let's go. He was like, his hands up, and the face is like all contorted. He's ready to do some patrons, what he's trying to do. And then this came after Trump tweeted his own touching tribute to the lives lost that day. 17 years since September 11th. Exclamation mark. I'm going to say, everyone shot somber tweet? No. And that was, by the way, also followed by a tweet about how good Rudy Giuliani was on 9/11 as mayor of New York City, nothing about the actual people whose lives were lost, and, of course, more griping and moaning about collusion. So, yeah, that is the incredible Donald Trump that we know and we love today, talking about 9/11. Yeah, so, and there was more. Yeah, there's a lot more good stuff on that Twitter feed. That's for sure. All right, now we're gonna get to Now, should we do that? Well, we will see. But all right, we're gonna go to a better story because things are getting a little bit dark as the roads to re-election for two right-wing conservatives who ran disastrous 2016 presidential campaigns are looking more and more difficult, with twin reports in Politico the detail to the growing threat of Texas Senator Ted Cruz and Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. Both Cruz and Walker are straining to keep challenges at bay. Come November, in Texas, Democratic Congressman Beto O'Rourke is nipping at Cruz's heels, and it's widely reported that Beto has outraised the incumbent by a margin of 2-1 last quarter, and that is, of course, by not taking any corporate-backed money. The concerns are grave enough for Republicans to be ramping up what Politico calls a full-blown rescue mission, which is apparently included Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick going to Washington in late July to beg the White House to stand Donald Trump and along with him the money conservative establishment, which Cruz has made his name railing against, filling up the embattled senator's calendar with fundraising events, according to Politico. Yeah, so here's a little bit of that. So Trump's rally is just the most public display of Republican cavalry rushing to the senator's aid. Cruz remains a favorite to win another term, and some senior GOP figures insist the concern's overblown. Yet the party, which has a fraught relationship with the anti-establishment Texas Senator over the years, is suddenly leaving little to chance. Behind the scenes, the White House party leaders and a collection of conservative groups have begun plotting out a full-fledged effort to bolster Cruz. Texas Senator John Conran, who's planning October fundraising for Cruz at Washington's Capitol Grill restaurant, had a simple